Hey, what's poppin'? What's happening? Sorry. Hey, Max to the boogie. Hey, Max. Let's go. Let's go. Let me go get some tea. We sipping. Hey, y'all ready? You ready? I'm ready. Ooh, I love a good bamboo pillow. Hey, good people, how we doing? Hey, Cynthia. LP, we are direct. Stop playing. So listen. Oh, no, we ain't gonna stop it. So listen. We gonna pick up where we left off. Ooh, big pressure. He done came all in the comment sections. Ooh, he wanna start some it with AunTeaFee. Why big pressure playing with me? Why he playing with me? Why he want to play with AunTeaFee? Hey, King Life. Why he want to play with me? He came in the comment section. Hey, Debbie Hudson. I know I'm late. So listen. We gonna pick up. We gonna talk about KARMELOANTHONY. We probably are going to disagree, but some things are being exposed. You know what I mean? And you know, I gotta make sure my tea sippers are on top of what's going on. Oh boy, I guess he had an attorney. Girl, sit your butt up. Whew. Hey. So listen, it sounded like he had some, I guess, attorney. I don't know if it was court appointed or what. Hey, Willie Spencer. But it looked like they done lawyered up. Mike Howard. Excuse me, my intentions was, ooh, I need to make a nail appointment. I am going to cut them down. So listen, you know, I'm going to do my little research on Howard. I meant to do that, but got so much going on. Lord, it's Mac's fault. Max to the boogie. It's her fault. With all this foolishness that's going on in the Mo3 sector, baby, it is everything I be planning on doing, I get sidetracked. I got sidetracked. If y'all was with me earlier when that fire alarm and stuff went off, that threw me. That threw all my plans out. The GOYAYO not being able, stop playing. Did you do anything with the name? GOYAYO name, I meant to ask you that behind the scenes. Did you do anything with GOYAYO name? Did your boy do a search to see where he at? Where you at? GOYAYO. I'm scared to stand up, y'all, cause ain't no telling what y'all gonna see. You know what I mean? So, rest in peace. Where's GOYAYO? I bet you he done got. Hey, Shelly Shell. I bet you that ass done got in some interrogation room. And them folk done said, no, he didn't get back with me. Okay. I bet you them people bringing up some shit that he thought he was clear from. Kind of just like Devin Brown, just like Keywan thought he was coming home. Ooh, what's that little commercial? Ooh, you should have been quicker than that. Woo, should have been quicker than that. They set their asses up, didn't they? They was talking about I'll be home. So yeah, y'all know my eyes start getting big. It's yes, baby. They set that ass up. They thought they was coming home. They was making plans, you know. I need for you to put my resume out. I need, you know, and you got any assignments for me, you know. I need to come up quickly. Huh? Hey, Chelsea. Can I go on vacation first? You know, they was making all type of plans. Well, can I come stay with you? Can I, what they say, you have to have an address to go home to? Yeah, they thought, ooh. They thought they was going to have to go to a halfway house for a minute. You know, all type of shit. Ooh, should have been quicker than that. Woo! They got that ass in the room, asking him questions. They eyes getting all big. They showing them the witness statements and shit, telling them what they homies done already said. He said, I be god damn. So I ain't going home, sir. Is that what you telling me? I ain't finna go home right now. Cancel my Uber. Cancel your Uber. And sit that ass down. You got some splaining to do. Oh, you thought, oh. And them plans you was planning that you made, hell, we got that. We listened to that too. Hey, Ty. Ooh, it's been a minute. I seen you over there clowning on somebody platform a week or two, not too long ago. I see you still in the net. Ooh, I'm grinding it. Put my whole fist in there. Yeah. Grit and teeth. Woo! I tried to tell y'all. Baby. So listen. I'm sure some stuff is gonna pop off next week. I just feel it in my spleen. Lucy, spleen. You got some splaining to do. ADOLPH. Yes. Why your name keep coming up? GOYAYO. You be all over the place. You be got your hand in here. Hell, you like MoneybaggyO gumbo. You got a little of this and a little bit of that. I can dip with a little bit of this. yeah. He all over the place. And then you got your partner killed. And we know that you got plans on retaliating. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would not want to be none of them. None of them. I think the one that may be in the best position is Devin Brown. He probably in the best position. All he did, I guess, unless he is the big dude, but they would have recognized him. That wasn't him. That was either Sean G or GOYAYO, Jose, or somebody I don't recognize. But that body structure that they was trying to say on that freeway, not too far. They ain't letting him walk. And then they gotta bring him over there so they can put a tail on his ass, and watch everywhere he go. See who he made contact with first. You know how they do. And I was watching something. It was a shooting because last night he got released. And y'all know at Taco Bell, I didn't bring it to y'all. Was it off of East Chase Parkway? 820 in East Chase, I think. I don't know exactly, baby. But listen, I thought I sent it to myself. I didn't send it to myself. Sometimes they be removing it. Or is it on Facebook? There was a shooting last night in Fort Worth. Because I remember saying, ooh, I wonder is that GOYAYO. I did last night. And the police came up to the guy and told the guy to have some integrity and stop filming. And the guy said, we the people. We need to know what's going on in our hood. I ain't know. He tried to get him to step back. He said, I have the right to record, sir. It's been a minute. So it was, and then the guy who was talking. Oh, you saw that? And the guy who was talking, he said, man, it's been hell in Fort Worth. It's been yeah, I know it's been active. I know it's been active. That's why I was finna get in my feelings last night with pressure when I was talking about Scooter trying to interact with some people in Fort Worth and stop 6 right after Lil Kenny was Lil Ronnie was taken out, and I was like trying to figure out a way how I could but oh Lord, I don't even want to think about it. Cause he had to check me, y'all. Cause I was going in. I was saying, oh, I know you don't know nothing about stop 6 and bullets. I was going in and in and in and in. You know what he said to me, y'all? He said, I prayed about it. I'm going to pray before I go. And I said, you know what, you're right. I had to stop in my tracks when he hit me with that. He 20, y'all, so you know, all I can do is pray. But I was worried. The point in that is I was worried, and to think about how, you know, now I'm not able to send gifts yet. I won't have my monetization in those gifts back until next month. Lord, and I promise I'm gonna try to figure out exactly what it was. So I don't do that no more. That ain't never happened. But anyway, them gifts sure was coming, wasn't it? The diamonds and the gems. Oh, anyway. So, but I said all that to say I was worried, and to see how these brothers was not having the young men's back. It was oof. I went to sleep with it on my heart, and I woke up with it on my heart, because I think it's awful. But baby, I heard, shout out to you. I ain't gonna say who came to my rescue. God have a weight on him. He sure got a weight on him. He'll send what you need right when you need it, won't he? And he did. But big pressure coming up in my comment section not too long ago, trying to stir up some shit with me. And we just not gonna see eye to eye. And your butt is... Anyway, God is always on time. Yes, he is. But without further ado, let's go in. Oh boy, was late to rest today. Oh yeah. Because all we've heard intentionally was one side of the story. And it was the Metcalfs and the Metcalf's friend, or what's the name of their school they go to? I don't remember which school he went to. I know one goes to Centennial. I can't remember the other one. The devil is a liar, AunTeaFee. God got something bigger for you. Thank you, Debbie Hudson. Thank you. Bible says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understanding. And all our ways acknowledge him, and he will direct my path and pad my pockets when it's in his order. I think he had to see if I was going to continue to do what I said I was going to do in spite of. So I'm trying to pass the test, baby. I don't like going back to the end of the line. You know what I mean? I don't like going back to the end of the line, and that's how I have to challenge myself, you know, with a spiritual relationship. I don't want to have to go to the end of the line and start over. So I just trust him. He'll make a way. He always do. And when I started this, I had no intentions on doing this. It just kind of happened when YOUNGDOLPH was assassinated. So any way you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna pass this test, baby. But listen, the young cat is Metcalf was laid to rest today. We're gonna check that out a little bit. Then we're going to go in on what's unfolding. The Anthonys obtained a better defense attorney, Mike Howard. So what that mean? What that mean with this one-sided story that's being put out? All his teammates, his lying brother, his lying drunk daddy, and his lying mama, respectfully. I mean, got a body part. That's why they should never. Yeah, yeah, but I don't. No, I ain't never been like that, LaBelle. Mm-mm. I don't do that. Let me tell you what. That's too for me. Now this is just for me. That ain't never been my cup of tea. That to me, this is just my personal opinion. That's too close to prostituting for me. Now, if you want to do something, if you want to do something for me, if that's what you want to do, then you do that. Sex is very important to me, and it's not for everybody to have. So I can't do that. That's just me. That's just me. I got some homegirls like that. Hey, Latoya. But I've always been cool like that. I got some homegirls who hate my relationships with my homies or ex. So, no. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that. I just, I've been told I was stingy with my coochie. I think when you have something that's good, it ain't for everybody, That's just my thing. But we'll have that type of talk, cause I can go there. I thought Big P was from the woods. Was green. What's the woods? He Memphis. He Memphis in Mississippi. I don't want to say he used to be some form of affiliated, but no. He's seen it all. Can I say that? Oh yeah. Listen, stop playing. No, we ain't gonna have that type talk. Lord have mercy. Listen, baby, I'ma leave that alone. If I tell y'all how I really got my little blade, yeah, somebody was stalking and dropped it. It was a snow day. They was stalking and kicking my door, and I guess it fell. Left me a souvenir. I don't even know if they know they dropped that knife. What you kicking on my door for? Yeah. That was a long time ago, y'all, though. That was a long time ago. I've had this for a while, but the story is true. It was left. I heard the steel toe boot kick on my door. And the next morning, I was like, did you walk in the snow? I'm gonna leave that alone. But anyway, I bet you they yeah, that's how I said, oh, okay, well, I guess God was saying this he a fool. You gonna need that knife. You may need that knife. But anyway, y'all, let's go on. And I done had it ever since. That's a well-traveled knife. And when I forgot I had it on me one day at the airport, I was finna go through that thing. And then I paused. I said, oh, God dang. I had to send Scooter on through. My homegirl had to walk him in the back. Because they were saying, well, ma'am, just throw it away. I said, oh, no, I can't throw it away. I can't throw it away. You sure? My purse had went on through the screen thing. It had already went through the x-ray. And once I had, because I didn't even want to tell them what it was. They was like, well, is it a gun? I was like, no, but, oh. So I had to tell them. They put it in the bowl and ran it through and walked me on so I can get my purse and walked me on back out. I wasn't playing. What is the burning Mac hell is going on? Rain, hell, sleet, snow. But like, what you mean, LP? So anyway, we finna listen to his, you know, show some condolences. But then we finna get in, baby, because they keeping secrets from us. And the African American men who are being the most judgmental against the young cat. The best way is stingy. Because one thing I learned is that when a man love, they love her heart for real, boo. And they will hurt you. Oh, yeah, he will. It was snow outside, I'm telling you. But anyway, it's been, oh, that's been, what, 2011? That's been a long time ago. And he come in here playing like that. Yeah, I pressure. He came in the comment section on the thing this morning. I mean, the live this morning. He just commented, and I was like, Pressure, why you? Ooh, I said to myself, Pressure, why you playing with me? But anyway, let's listen, y'all.
Stabbed to death at a school track meet earlier this month. An emotional farewell in Frisco. Good evening, everybody. I'm Casey Steger. Private funeral services were held today for the teen student athlete who was stabbed to death at a school track meet earlier this month. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed back on April 2nd. A teen student from another school has been charged with his murder. The crime has been thrust
y'all finna be surprised.
National spotlight, bringing some controversies along with it. On Monday, the alleged killer will make his first appearance before a judge. Fox 4's Amelia.
Why has it taken them so long to see the judge? Why has it taken them so? You know why? Because it's some things that they want to satisfy the and there's some controversies coming up in there, and the truth to the matter is Texas is a stand your ground state. And if anything, let's be clear, if anything that he really should be charged for, since Pressure wants to insist that he wasn't supposed to have a knife at this track meet, then he needs to, whatever minimum charge he needs to have for having a knife at a track meet. That's it. Since they insist on making him wrong for something. But even that's up to a debate. Yeah, because it's just been so much that has been left out. And I can't wait to find out who the blogger is in Texas that's created a fake letter from the chief of police with some of their content. Oh yeah, I've been sitting on this all day, y'all. It's good. Self-defense, but what happened prior to this? What do you mean self-defense? But what happened prior to this? Oh yeah, LP, I thought you never asked. Y'all hit the like button.
The developments tonight. She joins us live. Courthouse where that hearing will happen.
They've only told one part of the story.
Hi there, Casey. At Monday's hearing, we expect Carmelo Anthony's lawyers to ask for a bond reduction so he can get out of jail. But today in Frisco, the focus was on comforting the friends and family of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
Condolences to the friends and family.
People filed into Hope Fellowship Church in Frisco to say one final goodbye to 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Some people wore football jerseys to the service as Metcalf was a member of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. He was also a member of the track and field team. During a track meet earlier this month, Metcalf was killed after he was stabbed in the chest during a fight and died in his twin brother's arms. The fight was with 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, a student athlete from a different Frisco high school. Arrest documents say the fight was over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Anthony was charged with first-degree murder, and his bond was set at $1 million.
Well, obviously, it's a very tragic case when you have a 17-year-old killed and a 17-year-old boy charged with the murder happening during a school event.
Toby Shook is a criminal defense attorney not involved in this case. A bond hearing is set for Monday where the defense team plans to ask the judge to lower it. Shook explained some of the factors the judge will have to consider.
Obviously, in this case, there is not criminal history, so that's going to weigh in his favor to lowering a bond. The judge will also consider
no criminal history.
It's a flight risk. So the defense attorney is going to put on family members that can show he had lived for some years in Frisco, that his family's there, that he's not a flight risk. He has what they call ties to the community.
The prosecution will also have a chance to speak, and they're going up against a new defense attorney for Anthony. Shook told Fox 4 that the family hired Dallas-based criminal defense attorney Mike Howard to represent Anthony.
He's a very experienced criminal lawyer, done lots of trials. He's very good. So that was a good decision, I believe, on the family's part to get an experienced criminal lawyer who's actually tried criminal cases to defend his son.
This case has already captured national attention. Shook believes this will make the case difficult as it moves forward, especially when it comes time for jury selection if the case goes to trial.
Oh, I wish I could be on there.
It will.
Oh, I'm buffing.
There's a danger of poisoning the jury pool.
Hold on. Hold on. Did it stop? Did it stop buffing? Am I still buffing? Am I buffing? Oh, let me. Okay.
So that you'll have more. That was a good decision, I believe, on the family's part to get an experienced criminal lawyer who's actually tried criminal cases to defend his son.
This case has already captured national attention. selection. Shook believes this will make the case difficult as it
He
moves forward,
said,
especially when it comes time for jury selection if the case goes to trial, which Shook believes it
oh, they
will.
milking it
It
and
has a
playing on
danger
the
of
innocence.
poisoning
Oh,
the jury
yeah.
pool so that you'll have more jurors who are exposed and go in with opinions. So they have to be very, very careful during jury selection.
I wish I could be on the trial.
Shook is also a former prosecutor, and he's confident that the DA's office will put the top
Hold on,
prosecutor on the
LIP.
case. So he says
Hold
both
on, I
sides
got
will
you.
be
I
well
got you.
represented. We reached
I
out
hope
to Mike
I ain't
Howard's
finna
law
argue with
firm for a
person.
statement on this case, and we're still waiting to hear back.
We sure are waiting to hear back. Hold on.
Even grandma's house.
Hold on.
Let's do that.
Over the river and through the woods. Oh, what did he say?
Face off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face off on Fox Soul.
Let me see what they. I saw a little of this. I didn't know they had a.
Did it in self-defense.
New documents detail what happened before and after 17-year-old.
I wonder. I don't know if I need to watch Grandma to the grandmother house we go. Yes.
Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now live with the latest. Alex.
I seen this. I need to. No. I don't.
7-page arrest warrant affidavit. Several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother.
I think I seen this. That ain't what I want to see. That ain't what I want to see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I need to watch what I already know. I done made a glimpse at. I can save that for later. Let me save that for later. I'll watch it. I'm not gonna be thrown off. Not today. Not today. Let me see which one. I watched that one. Hold on. Oh yeah, they think they slick. Let's see this.
There was this kid, before I knew his name, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid.
Austin grabbed the backpack. So Austin grabbed the backpack where the knife was. Did we know he grabbed the backpack too? So he not only touched Carmelo, he not only touched him, put hands on him, he grabbed his merchandise. He grabbed his property. Is that what his brother just said? Let me take Brandon. Did y'all hear the brother? Is that what the brother just said? Hold on. Hold my mule. Hold on. Is that what his brother just said? Hold on. Let's start over. Let's listen with our good ear.
This kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was
Reckless.
under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab.
Video from WFAA in Texas. Tragedy at a track meet. A teenage football's life cut short. His family says he died in his twin brother's arms. The suspect, according to police, was a fellow high school athlete who allegedly brought a knife to a track meet and changed so many lives, allegedly, in the course of doing so. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
I tried to whip around.
It is hard to make sense of this story.
Hold
Just
on.
wait until I tell you what the suspect.
Let's go over here.
I didn't see the stab.
Video from WFAA in Texas. Tragedy at a track meet. A teenage football life cut short. His family said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That states that the suspect who goes to
And talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said,
there we go.
He's like,
can you hear it now?
I grabbed this backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see.
So he didn't see nothing. He didn't see it?
In Texas.
He didn't see it? Is that what Hunter said?
Life cut short. His family says he died in his twin brother's arms. The suspect, according to police, was a fellow high school
Did he say he
athlete
couldn't
who
hear?
allegedly brought
He
a
didn't
knife
see it?
to a track meet and changed so many lives.
The story is changing again, right?
We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Is the story changing again?
It is hard to make sense of this story, and just wait until I tell you what the suspect in this case reportedly has told police about an alleged murder
he
that
turned
happened
around
in the middle of the week at a high school track meet in the middle of the day in Texas. This is Austin Metcalf. His family says he died in his twin brother's arms after he was stabbed at this track meet in Frisco, Texas, near Dallas. He was 17 years old, and his future on the field and in life was so bright. He was a junior at Memorial High School. He played football there. His dad says last season he was team MVP, and he had a 4.0 GPA in the class. According to his ex account, he was getting looks to play at the next level and by some big schools. Here he is at a recruiting event for the Arkansas Razorbacks. They play in the SEC. If you know college football, that is as big as it gets.
He was just
He was a
superb,
multi-sport
right?
athlete, and he was also on his high school's track team, which is who he was competing for on April 2nd at this stadium in his hometown of Frisco, about 40 minutes from Dallas. And if you've ever run track, you know these meets, there's a lot of downtime in between the events. Each team typically has its own spot to hang out, and Austin was reportedly under a tent with his teammates when rain started falling on Wednesday.
Was he on tent patrol?
Police report that states that the suspect, who goes to a different high school, was under Metcalf's team's tent, and he was told to move. Witnesses say the suspect then unzipped a bag, he reaches in and told Metcalf, quote, touch me and see what happens. That's when witnesses say Austin Metcalf got up and grabbed the suspect, who then allegedly took out a knife and stabbed Austin in the chest. Austin's twin brother told WFA.
Now, how is the guy who's reporting this forget to say that he grabbed his bag, he pushed him, and then he went into the bag? Why are they intentionally avoiding that? Wow, that blows my mind. We just heard him say he grabbed his bag. Okay.
AATV this.
And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Also grabbed his backpack.
Oh, wow. Ain't that nothing? Ain't that nothing? But the newscat didn't say that.
I could, but I didn't see.
AATV this.
And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest.
Metcalf's family says that Austin died in his brother's arms. Here's a picture of the boys with their dad. This is the suspect. His name is Carmelo-Anthony. He is facing a charge of murder. He is being held on $1 million bond. Even though I'm using the term alleged in this story because all defendants, all suspects are innocent until proven guilty, Anthony reportedly is not using that term. He told police, quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it." That is according to the arrest warrant obtained by KXAS-TV. And according to the warrant, Anthony appears to think that he was in the right for allegedly killing Metcalf, claiming self-defense. We'll get into why his self-defense argument may not work in court in just a moment.
Carmelo-Anthony, class of 2025, Centennial High School, Frisco, Texas.
Anthony was also a football player. This was him mic'd up for a tournament that was posted on YouTube, and he linked to it on his X account. Anthony's high school was just about 7 miles from where Metcalf went to high school. It appears up until Wednesday, August 2nd, Anthony had somewhat of a bright future as well. His social media shows that he was getting offers to play college football. At least his social media claimed that. Like these Division III schools, Texas and Louisiana, and this small school in Kansas. On Huddle, which is a social media site for football recruits, he wrote, quote, "God has shown you the right path, just take it." That was in his bio. Now he's facing the possibility of never being on a football field again, or frankly being a free person ever again, because he is charged with murder. We saw a user write to him on X saying, quote, "Ruined your whole future, dude." Now, if the allegations are true, if he's convicted, frankly, the only future that truly matters in this story is that of Austin Metcalf, a future that was ended, and the future of his family and how they heal after what happened at this track meet on Wednesday this week. Austin's dad has a GoFundMe page. It has raised nearly $200,000. At the time of this recording, the page includes pictures of Austin, his dad, and his twin brother from when they were young. His dad writes, quote, "He was a leader of men. His smile would light up the room. His passion for football was unbelievable." And it's hard not to get emotional looking at this picture of a dad and his sons just fishing, looking out at the water at a pond, and to think of everything that was taken away by an alleged decision this week. On that GoFundMe page, his dad finishes by saying, quote, "We will all remember him for the way he impacted others' lives. I love you forever, son. It's not goodbye. It's see you later. God will take care of us till we meet again. R.I.P. Love, Dad." Austin's last post on social media was on March 31st. He wrote on X, quote, "Faith that God got me and my work will pay off." Join us now to talk about this case. It certainly has a lot of people talking. Is trial attorney Bridget Williams, who joins us from Dallas, Texas. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. I know that this has been headline news in your city.
Yeah, please hit the like button so that I won't have to stop.
What are some of the questions that you have based off
support the platform
been able to get so far?
Well, one, thank you so much for having me. I would say some of the questions that are running through my mind is just like, what is it that caused such a dispute to happen in the first place? What is it that could have caused it to have led to this in the first place? And also, just, I feel like there needs to be some type of just education for individuals for what is it that is self-defense? What is it that it really means for self-defense? Because in a situation like this escalated so quickly from one person thinking that he was defending himself, and in fact, he wasn't.
Bridget, you bring up a good point, because I think it can be a very delicate part of these conversations and stories we cover to say that there was more than one life that was damaged in events like this, because there's nothing worse than what the Metcalf family went through. They will never see their son ever again. And then you look at this suspect, and you know, there's questions about why you would even bring a knife to a track meet or anything like that. But how do you balance that? And maybe it isn't even balancing it. I struggle.
But nobody questions. Oh man, I went back to it. But nobody questions why he put his hands on him. Nobody questions.
To be with them.
Hold on. Nobody questions
I know that this has been
Austin's position. Nobody questions that. Why? We want to know why he had a knife, but we also want to know why he felt the need to grab his bag, Yeah, because y'all don't want to seem to factor any of that in. Why did he touch his property? And why did he put his hands on him? Yeah. Why are you not asking that, sir? And why are you acting like that's not a factor, ma'am? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Since it happened earlier this week, at this point, what are some of the questions that you have based off
I must have
information that
went
we've
too far. Hold on.
been able to get on Wednesday this week? Austin's dad, Paul, was unbelievable. Impacted others' lives. I love you forever, son. Talk about this case. It certainly has a lot of people talking. Is trial attorney Bridget Williams, who joins us from Dallas, Texas. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. I know that this has been headline news in your city since it happened earlier this week. At this point, what are some of the questions that you have based off the information that we've been able to get so far?
Well, one, thank you so much for having me. I would say some of the questions that are running through my mind is just like, what is it that caused such a dispute to happen in the first place? What is it that could have caused it to have led to this in the first place? And also, just, I feel like there needs to be some type of just education for individuals for what is it that is self-defense? What is it that it really means for self-defense? Because in a situation like this escalated so quickly from one person thinking that he was defending himself, and in fact, he wasn't.
Bridget, you bring up a good point, because I think it can be a very delicate part of these conversations and stories we cover to say that there was more than one life that was damaged in events like this, because there's nothing worse than what the Metcalf family went through. They will never see their son ever again. And then you look at this suspect and you know, there's questions about why you would even bring a knife to a track meet or anything like that. But why did he put his hands on him? That? And maybe it isn't even balancing it. I struggle with it to say, you know, the idea that Karmeloanthony, he had college offers to go play football, and then this decision on this day, April 2nd, at a track meet over something that probably at the end of the day never mattered at all. He likely could spend the rest of his life behind bars, and his family, who might have thought that they had a future college football player in their house, now very well may end up, for the majority of their lives, having to go visit him in a prison.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Something like this that just evolved and snowballed, that's what it seems like to me, snowballed over something that may have just been some high school students getting into some type of disagreement. And so the issue is that once that disagreement again begins to snowball, what is appropriate for self-defense? Whenever we're into just a oral disagreement, then that transfers over to a physical disagreement. How does it transfer then to a knife? And so, and under Texas law, you have to provide equal or lesser value, generally, so force, whenever we're talking about self-defense. Is it reasonable, and is it proportionate to that of what the perpetrator initiated before? Because in this situation, the suspect is stating he told the other person, pretty much, don't touch me. And that person did, in fact, touch him, and then he pulled out a knife. So yes, maybe there was some issues there where we talked about physical altercations, but that doesn't give you the right or the responsibility to respond back with a knife. It has to be reasonable and proportionate.
How do, once you get to a trial portion, actually be able to figure that out? Of, you know, you'll have what he will say, and let's say if he goes with the self-defense argument when we get to that point, but then you're going to have witnesses that will lay out the narrative. I mean, how do you get to the point where you figure out, okay, this is what people are saying what happened, and then this is the law, and you merge the two together to figure out what the appropriate punishment should be?
Yeah, I think that actually starts way before a trial setting. That would start really in the discovery aspect. So when we are looking through the discovery, and we'll be able to see what are the affidavits from each of the witnesses stating, what did the actual suspect himself state, because he made statements that were not where someone asked him any questions. He volunteered statements. And so all of that information is used even prior to trial. And so the state will be using that, all of those things combined in what we call totality of the circumstances to offer him some type of offer punishment range. And so that is, I think it starts way before trial. It starts way before that. And so and the state will, again, make an offer based off of all of those issues combined.
I wouldn't want her to be my trial attorney.
Yeah, hey, I've got a camping trip this weekend. Can I get a gray Bronco with all-wheel drive and a sunroof, please?
In a lot of these cases where someone makes a self-defense argument, and I feel like I don't even understand when these cases
She
come
couldn't be
up
my
from
attorney.
state to state, where you would think someone feels, hey, I feel threatened, I have this weapon on me. In this case, it was
She's talking like
a
she
knife.
was there.
Some cases we see someone who has a firearm, and in that moment they make this
How
decision
many
and they
of
say, hey,
our
I was defending
innocent-
myself. And then the police will say that's actually not what self-defense actually is.
Debbie
How
Hudson,
common in the
she a house
situations that you've dealt with in your career is there just a complete lack of awareness from a suspect or a defendant about what actually
be my
is
attorney.
self-defense?
It happens more often than you think. Here in Texas now, most people are allowed to carry a gun or a firearm. So we all know that. However,
and Trump pushed that, didn't he?
when we do those things, we need to also be educating ourselves, especially students as well. And students, and I would say everyone, really needs to educate themselves on when it is appropriate for self-defense. So we have several cases I've seen in my career where someone may have brandished a firearm, driving down the interstate, just showing someone else a firearm.
What's that little white guy?
May have cut them off
Rosenhaus or Rosenbaum?
that is not allowed.
Shot them people.
You can be charged
with an assault rifle.
I think just educating
and got out
yourself on what the law says self-defense is, in combination with getting a firearm if you're going to get one. That is really important because you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself, and
What's
then
that white boy
you are
name?
making sure that you're doing everything proper so you won't be charged with something going down the line.
Yeah, I look at this case, very different situation, but like Daniel Penny in New York, who was the man on a subway who claimed self-defense when there was someone having a mental health episode and that person ends up losing their life. Of course, stand your ground laws in Florida are always a hot topic when a case comes up involving those. Why is it that it seems like from state to state we have a difficult time across the board understanding what self-defense actually looks like?
It's difficult because every state has their own rules, right? So every state has a different set of self-defense rules. So just like you stated, in Florida, there's stand your ground laws. In Texas, we don't necessarily have that. So here in the state of Texas, again, self-defense has to be reasonable and it has to be appropriate.
I can't think of his first name.
Exactly what it is that the perpetrator or the other person initiated. And so the important thing to do is if you're going to be in a state, to inform yourself about
Kyle Rittenhouse.
State. Ignorance of the law is not a defense. It never is. It never will be. And so you have to make sure that you
Kyle Rittenhouse
in the best way possible, learning as much as possible as you can if you're going to be in a particular state. And so that way you'll know how to protect yourself.
In Kenosha, Wisconsin, shot and killed two people and injured another during a protest.
He's been charged with murder. I'm sure you've had difficult conversations with people who have been charged with crimes they never thought that they would ever be charged with, people who are not career criminals. What are those conversations like?
Those conversations can sometimes be very difficult. We're having that conversation a lot of times with the actual client, so that could the defendant himself, but also their family, because this situation not only impacts just this one person, but it impacts their families and their lives for a very, very long time. So those conversations can be extremely difficult. This suspect being held on a $1 million bond is not uncommon. I think that is...
And these people didn't do nothing to him.
This specific city, Frisco, that is what we call Collin County, they are putting a bond in place because of the offense, right? So the nature of the offense, which is a murder case. Is he a danger to himself and to others? In a situation like this, you presented a knife at a physical altercation, you're a danger to others, and you could very well be a danger to yourself.
He had an AR-15 style rifle.
Judge going down much lower on the bond. More than likely, his attorney will have a bond hearing asking the court to reduce that bond.
Kyle Rittenhouse had an AR-15
to post that bond for him, but that would be the next steps for a defense attorney.
Kyle Rittenhouse had a AR-15 style rifle. He shot a guy named Joseph, 36-year-old, in a dealership parking lot. And it says the guy he shot chased and grabbed his rifle because he was walking with a rifle. He shot and killed 2 people. He got off.
To try to set a bond hearing to try to get his bond reduced down. However, based on the nature of the offense and his danger, just status to
he had an AR, and she's saying because he had a knife, he was a danger.
Much lower.
In cases when it comes to bond, because I know in some cases you might be able to get a bail bondsman, you only have to put down, I think in some states like 10%. I mean, 10%. Realistically, what 10%? What would his family have to put forward if he was to be released on bond ahead of trial?
Yeah, but would he be? It wouldn't be against the law. That's just hold on. So let's just hypothetically say
they can get a bail bondsman.
Let's hypothetically say nothing happened. He had a gun. They found, a knife. They found a knife on him. What crime would that? Let's just hypothetically say they found a knife on him. Nothing happened. What would he be charged with at this school event? What law would he have broken? Just having that knife in his bag. What law? None. None. Not one. It's only an issue because somebody grabbed his bag and put their hands on him and he went in his bag. Yeah, miss me with that.
Post the bond for them where they would have to pay 10% along with some state fees. That's the norm. Some bail bondsmen charge a little more than that, but they have that as an option. Or they can pay a cash bond. The cash bond is where they would pay the full amount, but then they would get that full amount back once the case is resolved. When you pay the surety bond with the bail bondsman, you never get that money back. That is the money that you pay directly to them. And then the bail bondsman company is responsible, fully responsible. If you don't show back up to court, now they are fully responsible for the full amount of that bond to the court. So the cash bond is...
Okay, so right here where it says, why did Rittenhouse shoot those 2 people, would kill those 2 people and shot a third? It says he claimed he fatally shot in self-defense after Rosenbaum allegedly chased him, lunged for his rifle, and threatened him. According to his testimony, it was and the defense attorneys. He felt threatened. He felt threatened. And he had a rifle. So what is the likelihood they was trying to get the rifle away from the 17-year-old kid, thinking, why you walking down the street with this rifle? But he said he felt threatened. Okay. So it's a threat when you white, but when you black, what is it? He had a knife. He had a AR-15. Yeah, LP. Yeah, he stood his ground because what was his baby name? Trayvon had some Skittles in a pop, some soda. Yeah, he was afraid of the red Skittles. The red Skittles threatened Zimmerman. Yeah. Okay.
Is the other option where they can pay the full amount directly to the court. The family will get that amount back at the end of the case.
And this suspect, Carmelo Anthony, 17 years old, so technically still a minor being charged as an adult. Why is it in so many cases when someone's close to being 18, even though they're still a juvenile, they are charged as an adult?
Mm-hmm.
It just really just depends. Every case is just such a case-by-case basis. And then the courts will, the juvenile courts can sometimes just petition to the district courts in order for, based off of the severity of the offense, for that to be tried in a district court or county court of law. This is a severity type of case. I don't see why it's not moving forward in the district court. This is where it needs to be.
What's the timeline if this is something that happened on April 2nd? So I think it was on Wednesday this week. What's the timeline look like to when there eventually could be a trial?
Hey, Vicky.
It really just depends. So the cases such as this have no what we call statute of limitations. And so the police department has quite some time to build up their case. And then once they do that, they present it to the DA's office. The DA's office at the felony level then will present that case to a grand jury. The grand jury.
For those of us with service animals, preparation is key. Ensure your buddy always has their
jury then decides if there has been enough probable cause and then moves forward to an actual prosecutor. That time frame could take months. It could technically take years before he actually has a trial date or a court date. So before we get to a trial date, before he gets to a court date. So that process could take months, years before we even get started on moving forward with this case.
And I think of Carmelo Anthony, this isn't someone who I've seen has a criminal record, not like a career criminal, someone who appeared to be
I wish he was
had a bright future, on the right track, captain of the football team, had college offers. How much will the court take that into consideration when eventually, if he's found guilty? And listen, he's charged with, there's no worse offense than taking the life of someone else. And Austin Metcalf's family, he's gone forever. So I'm not.
What about Rittenhouse?
This not being a career criminal and someone in the heat of the moment made a terrible, terrible decision thinking it was self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of that, could that factor into how much time he potentially could spend in prison?
I think that those things would go into account during the punishment phase. So not necessarily during the guilt innocence phase. And that's if this even moves forward to a trial. So let's say that, let's go back a little bit. Let's say that they decide that they're not going to move forward with the trial setting and they're going to try to work out some type of agreement with the prosecutors. The prosecutors will then be able to take that into account in some type of mitigating circumstances, stating just all the things that you just said. Maybe he was a great student, straight A's, about to go to college and was a great athlete, all these different things. And so those are things that can be taken into account there. If he moves forward with a trial setting, that does not go into effect, in my opinion, for the guilt innocence phase. It's either, did you meet the elements that for murder? Yes, no. And then once that is confirmed or not confirmed, if it is confirmed, then those things will go into account for the punishment phase, which is separate. And so a lot of times the defense attorney will be building up the case there for the punishment phase to try to reduce the punishment as much as possible.
How likely is it, with what you know, maybe just what you know from what prosecutors are like in the county where Frisco is located, and also the evidence at this point that it seems that the authorities have, that they would do a plea deal or negotiate a plea deal, as opposed to just saying, we have pretty clear evidence that you did this, we're going to take this to trial and make sure you face the full extent of the law?
Yeah, I think that the prosecutors in most counties around Texas, around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, are going to be somewhat reasonable. They're going to take in that information as much as possible. Just like we stated before, we're going to use mitigating circumstances to take into consideration the punishment phase and what is appropriate.
They already seeing the punishment.
Defendant. Now, the prosecutors do run all of the offers that they provide generally by the victim. In this situation, the victim's family. So if they offer him 10 years TDCJ, which is prison, then normally they run that past the family and make sure that the family is okay with that offer. They don't have to wait for their approval.
Because he was going to make him leave. That's why he grabbed his backpack.
Feel about it, and if that is something that they would be okay with.
He grabbed the backpack because he was going to throw him out, make him leave from up under the tent. He was going to force him out, and he was going to throw his bag. We already can see where they going. Oh yeah, I'm finna skip on past this and get to the, you know, the meat and the potatoes of
I
it.
definitely think that it is something that they take into consideration.
Because we only know one side. They are making these judgments and
and then if they move forward in the trial setting, if they decide to go to the
yeah. I can't take her no more. Hold on. It's too late. We got to get on to it. Because she's an ass eater. She a what? She a what? She's an ass eater. Ain't that like Robert? You can't touch people's property. But hold on, y'all. Hold your wig. Hold your wig, baby. Hold your wig. Hold your wig. Hold your wig. Hold your wig. Grab it. She done pissed me off. You tapping your feet, you like, oh, lady. And it's blowing my mind that they have these opinions and this right here. And you only have one side of the story. They have, oh my God. Okay, hold on. I can't get there fast enough. It's blowing my mind. These African American people. For real?
Okay, with the 75 people, they say they...
Shout out. To OG Shikario. Shout out to you. He said it's suspicious. He said it's suspicious. What y'all say? Hold on. Y'all hit the like button, please. She is a boot. Yeah. Yeah. Dominique, you know, he's an advocate. They had a press conference. I didn't see it. But let's check it out, y'all. Y'all want some answers? Y'all want to hear some of the other side? Thank God for the attorney that they hired. They had their fundraiser or GoFundMe or whatever. They raised almost $400,000. Yeah, they was mad on the other side because people was donating. Can you believe that? Mad. Scratch your ass and get glad mad. Mad. But let's listen, y'all. Let's go.
Interview, did they say anything about video was recording them?
They have collected video.
So it is.
So they have video, y'all. They have video. Okay. Yeah. More than one.
Video of the incident.
Yes, they have collected video.
Okay.
There is video of the actual stabbing.
There's video, there are several different videos that they verified. As we know it right now, AUSTINMECCALF and Carmelo Anthony did not know each other. They did not know each other. Let's stop it. They were not at a party together. Let's stop the lies regarding this situation.
You shot great, but you shot late. High level. This is the Rundown Podcast.
Shout out to Sicario.
Rundown.
He gonna give us the rundown, baby. I sure appreciate his rundown.
Court documents revealing how Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death at a track meet in Frisco. Police say another teenager had fresh blood on his finger when they found him at Kirkendall Stadium.
The affidavit shows that when officers arrived, Carmelo Anthony told them
Let
he
me
got
tell
into
you
an
something.
argument.
I'm so glad Carmelo Anthony didn't overkill, didn't like repeatedly stab, like, you know. If he'd have had any more than that one wound where he was just stuck trying to get somebody, you know, he wasn't trying to. Yeah, cause see that's two different things. But I'm so glad he stuck and ran.
With Metcalf, and when the arresting officer said he had the alleged suspect in custody, Anthony replied, "I'm not alleged, I did it."
But Anthony told officers he only acted in self-defense and asked them if Metcalf was okay.
Several witnesses paint a different picture, and Metcalf's father told Matt Howerton he is not buying the excuse.
I had a dream last night.
Oh, I had a dream.
And Austin came to me and said, I'm okay.
I'm glad he comforted you, sir.
He gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt.
The last 24 hours, unimaginable for Austin Metcalf's father, his mother, his twin brother.
Right now, I'm really numb, and I really don't feel anything. I just have to function.
Metcalf, just 17 when he arrived at Frisco ISD's district track meet Wednesday. His final breaths taken before 11 a.m.
Y'all still with me? Give me a one. Let me know y'all with me. Because I'm not moving. My thing is jumping. It's doing something weird. The Trump tore racist Harry up and ran. Okay.
a.m. police say after being stabbed to death by a fellow Frisco ISD student, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, now charged with first-degree murder.
My world's a little shattered.
An argument over where Anthony was sitting while the meet experienced a rain delay sparked a confrontation between the teen and Metcalf. According to arrest paperwork, Anthony sitting underneath Metcalf's team tent. You could see it from the air when we flew over the crime scene. Metcalf from Memorial High, Anthony from Centennial. A witness telling police Metcalf told Anthony to move from under the team's tent because he didn't go to their school. The witness telling police Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." Investigators writing that Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move and that Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. When officers arrived, the knife was found and police say Anthony admitted to what happened, but said this to police: "He put his hands on me. I was protecting myself," even asking another officer if what happened could be considered self-defense.
What do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're going to do is try to lie your way out of it.
Metcalf's father telling me self-defense is not a reasonable excuse.
The truth will come out. There were too many people
sure
that were
will.
there that saw what happened.
It sure
My
will,
own
sir.
son told me.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. But just that's what I saw. And I try to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like
a high school athlete.
Why did he put his hands? Was it senseless that he put his hands on him?
It happened on Wednesday after telling a fellow student that he was in the wrong place. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms.
It was a huge tagline that was said that Austin Metcalf died in the hands of his brother. And it was false.
You mean the brother lied?
And we have to be very careful when we report things.
That's what the boy said.
Man, it's OG Jacario. Now, hey, with another one. And new details have emerged in the Texas track meet tragedy that occurred out there in Frisco, Texas.
I'm sure the African
that took the life of one of those students there, 17-year-old Austin.
Texas is stand your ground.
Of Austin, who was right there.
Yes, they do.
Who was also a part of the incident. He stated that his brother.
Listen, let's be clear. Hold on, let's be clear. Hold on, come on, let's be clear. The reason I want to be 100% clear. The reason they intentionally walk past the fact that he grabbed his bag and put hands on him is because Texas is a stand your ground state. That is the reason. They want to express that he was aggressive, Carmelo Anthony was aggressive, and Austin wasn't. They want to show that. That's why they walk right on by it. Because they know that it's a stand your ground state. Let that be the reason.
Wasn't, a part of their track team or even went to their school for that matter, who was sitting up under their track tent in those bleachers. These twins.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter your address and get a 360-degree satellite view of your home right now. See your city, your street.
Mainly Austin asked Carmelo to move. And Carmelo said, make me.
Mama said that's what he do. He's the take charge type kid.
Over 75 witnesses that have already been interviewed according to law enforcement, right? And so now that we know this, we know that there is more individuals that haven't been questioned.
That's why I was saying that I'm glad that he didn't there was no
about this matter,
whole bunch of stab wounds.
And we have the teen brother saying yes. My brother Austin did, grab Carmelo and try to force him to move away from up under the tent. So that's when Carmelo told
he was finna throw his ass out.
Austin, touch me and see what happens. So we have the twin brothers saying that he wasn't right there when the actual stabbing occurred.
Come on.
As he said in his interview when the incident first happened.
Come on,
this is what he told to do.
That's what he said.
He couldn't get there fast enough. My thing is this. So, he tells the story as if he was there the whole time. Then he says that he wasn't there when it actually, took place.
Because he's a liar. His dad and mom has told him what to say.
Anthony stabbing his brother, Austin, right? But, in a different interview, he said something totally different.
How did it happen?
Why did this?
So there was a really bad storm in the morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for, and I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in.
You see how they keep using the word aggressive?
He always does with me, just brothers just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity. And the kid said, just some like aggressive stuff, like reckless stuff, and also try to handle the problem. And yeah,
Austin was always one to step up. He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing.
The
and he was
aggressor.
doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is like because they have personal items there.
All stuff gets stolen, just like that, just precautions and stuff. And our coaches always told us don't, other schools, like mess with our stuff, just sit around.
So was he sitting or was he messing with y'all? Was he sitting or was he? Y'all see? Oh, I can't stand this type of stuff, y'all. So was he sitting behind? Because y'all had to turn around. So I'm almost positive that y'all was sitting closer to y'all stuff. Was he tampering with y'all stuff or was he sitting behind y'all? Maybe somebody he know was on the track field and was doing good and he was, cheering them on. I don't know, but he was behind them. No, yeah, the story done changed already. You absolutely right, Hudson. Yeah. So y'all talking about property and that they don't want their stuff. Y'all was sitting right there. It would be a total different story if y'all was saying he was touching y'all stuff. So why y'all even bringing that up? Let's keep going.
Just a tragedy. What happened?
And then what happened, Austin? After your brother stepped up, what happened then?
He stepped up over there, asked him to move, got aggressive, he grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him running down the bleachers, grabbing his chest.
So let me ask you something, Hunter. Let me ask you something, Hunter. You keep saying the word aggressive. When your brother grabbed his bag, was your brother being aggressive? When he grabbed his bag, your brother was being aggressive, forceful. Yeah. Trying to intimidate. Why are those words not coming out of your mouth about your brother? Yeah. And you're overusing that word aggressive on purpose. Because that's what you've been told to say. Because Texas is a stand your ground state. And the aggressor is the one who would be liable. And you don't want to say your brother was being aggressive. So you put it on Carmelo. Let's go.
Just blood rushing out. He said, he got stabbed. First I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do. And then I saw him about to fall. I went to go over there. I grabbed him. I see.
Let's go.
Yeah. I understand. The best I can to understand.
Yeah, there was. You can see. You can picture what happened when what was coming out of his chest. And
yeah.
Y'all can visualize this. I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there to try to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I lifted his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
And then we also didn't hear, him say that Carmelo Anthony told his brother Austin, touch me and see what happens. The twin brother didn't say that in his first interview.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother
she couldn't fake cry. Hey, Jalen. Nope, she couldn't even fake it well.
The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I was my.
So you see, he didn't say. He said, "Touch
now
me."
Now that the police report is
yeah,
out,
now
you have evidence that Officer Alvin Fisher
hold on.
interviewed the brother
hold on.
of Austin. That's
okay,
right.
before we get to some of the evidence, as he pointed out, Hunter, the brother, never said anything about him saying, grab me or touch me. He never said that initially. He's only said that since he's been instructed on what to say and what word to overuse. Let's stay woke.
Hunter, the twin, he was interviewed by this officer, and Hunter told the officer that his brother Austin indeed did push Carmelo Anthony to try to make him leave from up under the tent.
To try to make him leave. He pushed him to try to make him leave. Yeah, that's why he grabbed his bag. He was grabbing his bag to tell him, "Shoe fly, don't bother me. Get your ass from over here." So his brother told the laws that his brother Austin pushed Carmelo. Let's go.
Alvin Fisher interviewed the brother of Austin. That's right, Hunter, the twin. He was interviewed by this officer, and Hunter told the officer that his brother Austin indeed did push Carmelo Anthony to try to make him leave from up under the tent, right? And this is what escalated the situation. And now we have this outcome of Carmelo saying that it was self-defense with him pulling out that sharp object and plunging it into Austin, right? Causing him to meet his demise. Also, according to the police report, it was so many officers doing so many, interviews with witnesses
he
there.
Can't remember what he said. Yeah, because his parents done told him what to say.
One of the witnesses said.
One of the witnesses. Hold on.
Carmelo Anthony was indeed.
Hold on. You mean we got the witness, EP, whatever his name is? Okay, y'all got y'all good ear out. He can't. We got the good ear. Y'all give my lights up. It's finna get good. It's finna get good. Yeah, get the lights up, please. Yes, indeed. What time is it? Come on, y'all. Support the platform. He can't come on. It's finna get good. That's why I'm saying I'm so glad he stuck one time to get him up, make him move back, and he ran, dropped it, and ran. Yeah. Baby, because if it would have been another poke, oh yeah. Y'all come on, get the lights up. Because when it get to the 1 hour and 59 minutes, I'm shutting it down.
Be friends with, one of the Memorial Track members, right? One of the teammates there up under that tent.
What?
Possibly why,
hold on.
Or track members, right? One of the team. With so many officers doing so many, interviews with witnesses there that day at the track meet. This officer, Taylor Wetzel, says that one of the witnesses says that Carmelo Anthony was indeed friends with, one of the Memorial Track members, right? One of the teammates there up under that tent. And this is possibly why, Anthony was up under Memorial's tent, because they're saying that it's a redacted name, that only the initials E and P are visible. and was friends with Anthony, and he could identify Anthony. Okay, now this is what one of the witnesses who happens to probably
so
be one
he
of the
was sitting there talking to one
the following is
of
the summary
Austin's
of the contact with redacted name.
teammates.
Advised he was sitting under the Memorial High School pop-up tent with his team.
Do y'all understand that? Carmelo was sitting up under the tent talking to one of Austin's teammates. So he knew someone that went to school with now Austin and Hannah may not have known him, but one of their classmates, track mates, knew Carmelo Anthony. And he was sitting there talking so that's all that's been left out, right? News ain't social media ain't touched that, right? Oh baby, but it still gets better.
And was near the victim.
Maybe we can get some pizza or some chicken.
Oh, it gets better.
We have nail polish at home too, but
Turkish fans. Austin and the suspect, who was later identified as Carmelo Anthony. So, yes, this is what this is definitely saying. This is a high school pop-up tent with his team and was near the victim, Austin, and the suspect, who was later identified as Carmelo Anthony. So, yes, this is what this is definitely saying. This is a student. It's a male student that told them that, yes, Carmelo Anthony was indeed friends with one of the Memorial track members there that was up under the tent. And this is also a reason why Carmelo Anthony could very well have been up under that tent, you guys. Wowza. Look at that. So, see, this witness, right, who is on the same team that Hunter and Austin is on, Memorial, he's saying that, look, man, Anthony has a friend over here, okay? Now, they're not telling you that, he does have somebody that he knows that runs track at Memorial.
Peace, but y'all not
this
truthful.
Is why he was up under the tent, talking to his friend who the initials E and P stands for. This is the individual that they're not, that they redacted from the paperwork. Okay, so when this comes out, that was just a narrative that Hunter and Austin put out, that, this was their narrative, okay, that, that Hunter carried on, right, at the time, because now, obviously Austin's no longer with us. So Hunter carried out their narrative that, look, he's not from here. He doesn't go to our school. Nobody knows him, right? Now, a couple of those things might be true. He might not go to the school, right? But somebody over there knew him. Just because the twins didn't know him doesn't mean he didn't have a right to be there because he has other friends that goes to Memorial. So that right there would negate everything that, this twin Hunter is saying about this, this student that goes to Centennial, who happens to be Carmelo Anthony, right? How are you going to tell me why I can and can't sit? Or who I can be, friends with and not be friends with? This right here is the discrepancy that happened. And what do you know? Now we're here with this situation. Now, this same witness tells Officer Taylor Wetzel that, they heard Carmelo Anthony tell Austin, look, touch me and see what happens. And they says that nobody really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag. And Austin proceeded to touch Anthony. And then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. Right? It says a short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what redacted name recalls as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and ran away. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to help. Redacted name advised that he did not know Anthony's name, but stated that another Memorial track member, redacted name, only the initials E and P are visible, was friends with Anthony, and he could testify, and identify Anthony. So it's looking more and more like the twins didn't want Carmelo Anthony there up under the tent if he knew somebody that went to Memorial and ran track, for their team or not, right? They didn't care. you know,
They didn't
about,
care.
you know, who he knew and who he was, and all they knew was, you know, doing the right thing was making this person who didn't go to their school move from up under their tent.
Regardless if he knew somebody or not.
The brother Hunter even stated that his brother Austin used physical force. He pushed Carmelo Anthony, right? And then, as the saying goes, fuck around.
And you'll find out.
Carmelo told the law enforcement, you know, hey, I told him, don't touch me, right? I told him, don't put his hands on me. He said, I was protecting myself, right? This is what Carmelo is telling
that witness,
the law enforcement.
They ain't said nothing about it, though.
Him one, right?
They ain't said,
But at
the
end of
media,
day, you know,
listen.
he's claiming that this is self-defense. You know, he's asking.
The media ain't said nothing about it. They have intentionally bypassed it. Why? Why? Why would you, all of y'all, Frisco, non-African American reporters, news, social, and then on top of that, we got these trifling ass African American men going along with this cover up and sabotage. Wow.
Questions. He even asked, you know, if Austin is okay. Now, the attorney for Carmelo Anthony came out and said this on his behalf. He says, I know that my clients...
Carmelo, okay. Oh, this is the one that got fired. Hold on, let's hear what the
defense. You know, he's asking questions. He even asked, you know, if Austin is okay. Now, the attorney for Carmelo Anthony came out and said this on his behalf. He says, I know that my client said it was self-defense. I don't have any reason to disbelieve that, but I need to develop facts, talk to people, and figure out what's really going on before I make any statements about what I think happened, Walpole said. I don't have any reason to think it wasn't self-defense at the time. Walpole added that he only had a few hours to speak with Anthony, but confirmed he'll be requesting a bond hearing next week. It's very suspicious how we always have one big story, at least once a year.
Shout out to
George Floyd stories, Trayvon Martin's, and Mike Brown's, and Eric Gardner's, right? These big stories like this, right? They always gain national attention when it comes down to race. And they always say race doesn't play a factor. Right?
Oh, yes, it do.
But as we know, the father said, you know, in his initial interview when he first spoke, you know, he was furious. He wasn't accepting this, right? This is unacceptable. And, you know, he had a different tone. And now he's coming out saying that, look, I forgive, this kid who did this to my child.
Because, you know, it's a stand your ground.
You know, he's calling for peace, saying, look, this is not about race.
Oh, yeah.
Look, this is not about...
You know why he would back up off of it's not about race? Because he knows it's a stand your ground. He knows his son put his hands on him first. He know his son was the aggressor. So you moonwalking a little bit because somebody has reminded him of this. And now that you know, he found out that his son was lying and how y'all was throwing out that overly aggressive word, you forced him, that you told him to keep saying that, keep saying that, keep saying that. And he was, but yeah, you didn't know that there was going to be some other people there that would tell the truth. Yeah.
Now this is the father changing his tune.
And he was an amazing kid too. We'll get you to speak about him in just a moment. But I think a lot of people at home are saying, wait a second, How does this happen? He goes to a track meet on Wednesday and is murdered. What happened?
I wish I had all the answers. The answer is my son is gone, and he'll never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened.
We know your son put your hands on.
Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family forever. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I know exactly what was happening. His brother was there who tried to save him, and he died in his arms.
And his brother said that he put his hands on him.
Rumors.
Now this is the father changing his tune. Wow. And a lot of people don't like that, right? They calling him a traitor, his own people, right?
His
own community.
Do y'all understand that? Frisco now is saying that Mr. Metcalf is a traitor because his attorney has said, you know, this your son put his hands on him. Your son was the aggressor. So you know that's the truth to the matter. And this could get really ugly because you were really this, that, and the other. Now your son started this. Yeah. So now you got, y'all done told half-ass stories, got the community all upset, huh? And now you trying to moonwalk back like Michael Jackson, and they are now trying to throw stones at you. Yeah, because y'all lied. Because y'all lied. Bottom line. Now he wants to moonwalk back. Now you want to moonwalk. So now you want to keep the peace. Now Frisco wants to act a motherfucking donkey. Your son, the other one, Austin, bless his heart. Now he wasn't there. I turned away. I really didn't see everything. But your daddy said you saw everything, that he knows exactly what's happening because you told him. And now y'all moonwalking. Dum 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 dum. Yeah. Let's be clear. And for these dumbass black men who was trying to say, oh, he was wrong. Well, the truth to the matter is his daddy knows his son started it. The daddy and the mama know that he was the aggressor. Whether he had the knife there or not, Austin put his hands on his bag and he put his hands on him. And because the mama say he always do the right thing, when he grabbed his bag, he shouldn't have grabbed it. He should, when he said, you touch me and see what happened, he should have turned and walked away. Because he always do the right thing. Right? No, he did not. He gave 2 warnings. Don't touch me. And touch me and see what happens.
Because he, doesn't want people, to get in a frenzy about this being.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy.
In a black and white-ish. He says he
weren't there. Please don't spread rumors.
You wasn't there either, sir.
changing his tune.
Was he there? Was he there? You wasn't there. Sir, you wasn't there either. And your son's story has changed more than once. Yeah. Because that attorney told you that he was the aggressor.
Spread rumors.
Now this is the father changing his tune.
Yeah, he thought he was
and
entitled.
A lot of people don't like that, right? They calling him a traitor. His own people, right? His own community is calling him a traitor now because he, doesn't want people, to get in a frenzy about this being a black and white issue. He says it's a human issue. It's a human problem, right? So, I wonder what made the father change his tune all of a sudden. And this is very, very eye-opening because obviously there must be some information that's going to come out showing that his son definitely was the aggressor, even though his twin, right, Hunter, says his brother did push Carmelo Anthony. And some people saying that, look, a push doesn't warrant a person to, use deadly force. And
you can't tell me.
Hey,
listen, let's be clear. He didn't stab him to kill him. He wasn't. It wind up being a deadly puncture. But that wasn't his intent. I'm gonna stab you in your neck because I'm gonna hit that main artery, and I'm gonna stick it and turn it. Cause you come messing with me, I'm a stick and turn, baby. I'm gonna tell you that now. I'm sticking and turning. Yeah. He ain't do that. He wasn't ignorant in the head like AunTeaFee gonna be if you come messing with me. Yes, indeed. I just need a little time to get to the peacemaker. I'm sticking and turning. And if you still coming, by the time I get to the Smith and Wesson, it's rockabye baby. I'm gonna tell you that now. It's gonna be rockabye baby. Yeah.
17-year-old Carmelo Anthony thought his life was in danger to use deadly force. Right? Who knows? We shall see in a court of law. Now, in that press conference that they did in regards to Carmelo Anthony, they're saying that, this group that has been assigned to, go over all the facts. The civil rights group is saying that, look, we're going to make sure that he gets a fair trial here in this county, Collin County. And also, they're saying that, they might be pushing to take it out of Collin County because, it could be, a biased trial that this young man receives, might not receive justice, okay, because of so many people, that could taint the jury about, him being guilty before he even gets judged.
That's what they're doing on YouTube.
So that could be a
social
problem.
Media.
And also, this is another reason why I think the father said that, this is not about race, okay? Because, they don't want to make it about race because then that would surely, lead to this trial being in a whole different county. And, this county will not be able to try this trial if it is a bunch of racial, tension going on. Now, in the press conference, we were told that the family of Carmelo Anthony, right, the mother and father, their home has been receiving threats. That's right. And these threats are very graphic, as they explained in the conference, that they're talking about what they're going to do to the little ones of Carmelo's mother and father. Okay, they have other kids there in the home, and these threats, are very serious. They should be taken very seriously. And whoever is making these threats, I wonder, are the authorities going after these people? How are they, deciphering who made these threats and where did they come from? Okay, if they're this graphic and detailed to the point, saying that they're going to do, something to the family of Carmelo Anthony for what, his actions was at that track meet and taking the life of AUSTINMECCALF.
Today in this meeting, we talked about and was able to give them graphic images of what this family has had to deal with for the last couple of days. It is sad. These graphic images not only display children with knives, black children with knives stuck in their head, the Anthony family's address. We have saw so many different hateful images, just hateful things.
You know, 1 minute they're saying that, you know, this kid is the worst kid in the world, but then the public turns around and threatens his family with violence, right? So violence begets violence. Now in an article that's floating around social media, giving more insight to who Carmelo Anthony is as a person, his character. It says bystander saved child drowning in pool.
Hold on.
This is a younger Carmelo Anthony.
Hold on.
He was, you know.
He done saved somebody's life? What? So not only is he not a hoodlum, not a career criminal, not a thug, he almost got a 4.0 GP, almost got, he's what, 3.8? Athlete scholarship offers. And he a what? Well, will you look at that? You mean he saved somebody's life? As a minor, as a kid? What? Oh, you lying to me. And the news media ain't picked that up. The news media ain't said nothing about that? Hold up. You lying to me. Let me back that thing up. I had to step away. Let's go.
1 minute they're saying that, you know, this kid is the worst kid in the world, but then the public turns around and threatens his family with violence. Mm-hmm. Right? So violence begets violence. Now in an article that's floating around social media, giving more insight to who Carmelo Anthony is as a person, his character. It says bystander saved child from drowning in pool. And this is a younger Carmelo Anthony, where he was, you know, a savior, a hero, right? He saved a child from drowning in a pool area. And, you know, he was looked at as, you know, a hero in his neighborhood because of this, growing up until this point to where, you know, now he's been vilified, right?
Ain't nobody said nothing about that on the media.
All because he chose to make a decision to basically protect himself, as he claims. He says, I was protecting myself. You know, I told him not to touch me.
They're very much so dismissing
this is the self-defense claim that Carmelo Anthony is taking. And yes, people are, you know, upset at the fact that, you know, this article has surfaced, you know, saying that he's a hero. And even the mother of the child that was in this incident that Carmelo saved, right? She even says she can't believe that he's going through this, and she's praying for him and his family, because it's very unfortunate that somebody that saved her child, right, is now being faced with, you know, the accusation and the slander and defamation of his character about, you know, who he personally is. Now, many people are upset that the family of Carmelo Anthony is raising money. And it's not on GoFundMe, it's a Give, Send, Go account. It says Help Carmelo Official Fund, and the goal is $450,000. And get this, it raised $346,279. Okay, so you know they're not far away from that $450,000 mark. And many say, well, why such, you know, high goal? Well, they did give them $1 million bond, right? So they have to come up with that money. And also, you know, they have to pay for the defense, this self-defense claim that Carmelo is going to go with, right? He said it was self-defense, right? He put his hands on me. I told him not to. So with $1 million bond, right, and these attorney fees you're going to have
pays to have a good record.
Okay. Pretty sure the $450,000 goal might need to be added too, because, you know, this thing can get steep. I'm trying to prove this self-defense. Got to get the best lawyer in town, right? And who knows if this lawyer of his is a court-appointed lawyer or not. I haven't checked on that.
Well, he's been replaced.
You know, paying for this lawyer, right? So it's a bunch of stereotypes that they, you know, touched on in the conference, and everything that was put out there that was false was set straight with this news conference that was given in the regards of Carmelo Anthony.
I'll show you the ropes. Show you the.
Yeah, we would have never known.
Boom, baby.
And his civil rights, right, that he is entitled to, and may not be violated according to this agency who's overseeing the case, right? They're like policing the police in this matter.
And the Next Generation Action Network wants to reiterate that Carmelo Anthony has a right to a fair trial, unbiased, and removed of racial hate and bigotry. I want to make it very clear. And I say this from my heart and my own personal reference. If someone wants to say race is not in this situation and shouldn't be, well, I asked all of those people to join me in calling it out. But don't look at black people and say, don't always play the race card. We don't play the race card, we live it. We live a reality. We also feel that the bond that Carmelo Anthony is on is too high.
Absolutely.
So with a lot of mis and disinformation going on in the story, especially with the sheriff, you know, they saying that he came out and he said this and that, and they said, look, that's a fake account. The sheriff didn't say that, right? And then you have, you know, this fake autopsy that comes out 2 days after the crime, right?
See what they doing online, y'all?
You know, an autopsy takes longer than that. So it's like, you know, who's pushing these narratives, right? Who's putting all this fake information out there, right? This fake news, you know, tainting the whole investigation, right? Clouding up the investigation and what's really happening and what really went on that day at that track meet, okay? So they're saying that they actually have video of this altercation. And that's good news, because at first, you know, it was, you know, said that they didn't have video, and, you know, people couldn't believe that nobody there videoed anything, or, you know, and that's suspicious because people are always videoing something, right? People are always recording something. Cameras are everywhere. And
they didn't want to tell them
cameras at that facility, you know, at that track. So
they was trying to keep it covered up.
In a controversial post that news reporter Amelia Mugavero from CBS 11 put out on Facebook, she says, new information about the investigation into the stabbing death of a 17-year-old Frisco student athlete. CBS News Texas has learned from law enforcement sources involved in the investigation that a 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, pictured to the left, and the suspect in the murder of the 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had previously been suspended for bringing a knife to school. Law enforcement sources tell us that 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony should have been in class at Centennial High School and was skipping school yesterday when he allegedly stabbed Austin Metcalf following an altercation. We have not received a response from Frisco ISD to that information. Now, they're saying that law enforcement sources told CBS 11 this. And they had to come back and redact this statement. That's crazy, you guys, right?
They had to.
In that conference, it says that both parties, right? The twins, Austin and Hunter.
Just lying, y'all.
Carmelo Anthony was supposed to be there at that track meet. You know, all these different lies that were being made up and false narratives saying that, you know, Anthony wasn't supposed to be there, right? He's supposed to be at school and he was skipping school and he was at this track meet when he stabbed, you know, Austin. This is false, right? He was supposed to be at the track meet, just like the twins were. So we start to see more and more truth come out. And this right here was allegedly coming from law enforcement sources, okay? And you see how the whole plot narrative got twisted by law enforcement. Now, CBS 11 had to turn around and redact some previously reported information, which I just told you, on a possible suspension in order to get further clarification from the school district.
Because they was lying.
Has chosen not to reply to our questions regarding this information. Therefore, we have pulled the info temporarily in order to allow the school district time to respond accordingly. I have personally asked the school district if there was any security in place at the event, and the school district declined to answer.
I know
so
they
this
did.
is what CBS 11 follows up with after they took down, you know, and redacted their statement that you know, Carmelo Anthony was kicked out of school for having a knife that day before, and he should have been at school, you know, at school instead of at this track meet where he was in this incident with Austin Metcalf. Now, Austin Metcalf's dad says that he forgives Carmelo Anthony for what he did to Austin, but he wants Carmelo to get the death penalty. But it's already been stated that, you know, Carmelo will not receive the death penalty because he's a minor, and that's law. And also, because, you know, he is a minor, he will not get life in prison without parole, right? That's another thing he will not face because he is a minor.
Now, what I want to be able to do is ensure, and what we was able to hear today from the Frisco Police Department is reassuring that the Frisco Police Department is doing everything that it can to address the racism and the bigotry. We have saw the police chief, a statement being sent out by the police chief that was false. We have saw a false autopsy report that was false. We have to caution the community to say, hey, we cannot trust everything that is online. The disinformation that is going online is hurting this case. And it has to stop. It has to stop, y'all. As we know it right now, Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony did not know each other. They did not know each other. Let's stop it.
Stop lying.
They're not at a party together. Let's stop the lies regarding this situation. We also know that both Austin Metcalf, the twin brothers, were on the roster that day to be at that track meet. We also know that Carmelo Anthony was on the roster that day to be at that track meet.
I wonder did Carmelo.
We know they.
I wonder that they compete.
All of them arrived this specific.
I wonder that they compete in a track event, and Carmelo beat him or something. You know, because he was sitting there with the memorial student track. Yeah. And he still had issues. So it was about race and superior entitlement.
Facility, be it the transportation of Frisco ISD. The lies has to stop, y'all. As far as the legal
Frisco is predominantly white.
About that today because that's not my place. I'm not the lawyer. I think you guys have all had a statement in regards that the lawyers have asked for a bond reduction, and they will release that in the way.
And that's coming Monday.
We are solely here because where racism and bigotry and hate arises, the Next Generation Action Network will be there and will respond to that hate.
He was gonna make
we will not allow our community
ninja
to go under attack.
Move.
We know that when people see a white and a black man,
oh yeah, they gonna come out. They didn't want it to come out.
That race always become a factor in that situation.
They didn't want it to come out.
Next Generation Action Network.
It's been almost a week, and the media hadn't said nothing
we are here
about
to support this situation.
Carmelo Anthony.
Based on what we have seen,
other than he stabbed him over a seat. That Austin Dean,
where he has displayed self-defense. I think that in the next coming days, as you see the things going out in the courtroom, it will be displayed. But today's meeting was solely about the threats that have been going towards their home and ensuring that there is a fair and impartial investigation going on. And I want the public to know that our organization, along with attorneys, are doing everything they can to make sure that race is not a factor in this case.
With news media outlets not telling the side of Carmelo Anthony's story, it only seems one-sided, right? This twin, Austin Metcalf, he could do no wrong, right? Well, why are people calling him a bully? What's going on with that? When are those facts gonna come to surface? Was he really a bully?
Yeah, because the mama almost slipped and said it.
Anybody that they can't sit somewhere. Did he have a right to push anybody? Right? Make a move? Or
he was the aggressor.
Do what he wants them to do when he wants them to do it. Did he have and possess that type of power? Well, obviously he thought he did. But Carmelo Anthony, was his actions just? Well, Carmelo Anthony feels like they were. And, you know, only time will tell will, you know, a court trial. Say the same for Carmelo in his favor if his self-defense claim holds up in court. Will the jury take into consideration that Carmelo Anthony saved somebody's life? Right? Will that help his character? Will they take into consideration that, you know, he also had a high GPA, right? Never was in trouble before. Had recruitment offers coming in from McPherson College, amongst other ones that was possibly coming as well. You know, will they look into all these aspects? He didn't wake up that day with killing Austin Metcalf on his mind. He didn't even know Austin Metcalf for that reason, right? To be there or have an altercation with him for that matter. So, will his claim of self-defense work? We'll just have to wait and see. Now, will the jury take into consideration that the victim, Austin Metcalf, comes from a broken home? That's right. His mother and father, they're no longer married. They don't stay in the same household.
What?
Who knows how many years that's been going on.
Yeah, because he a drunk. I knew he looked drunkish. Wait a minute, what?
Metcalf just might have been a self-defense work. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, will the jury take into consideration that the victim, Austin Metcalf, comes from a broken home? That's right. His mother and father, they're no longer married. They don't stay in the same household. And who knows how many years that's been going on. Will the jury take into consideration that Austin Metcalf just might have been a bully? Just might have been overexerting himself in certain situations that caused him to, you know, lead to his demise. Now, Cornell X has some groundbreaking news about the weapon that was allegedly used by Carmelo Anthony. Cornell X says some information, some news will come out soon, that the weapon he used was not an actual knife. It was one of those stakes used for tents, to put tents down. A tent stake is what Cornell X, you know, claims.
Who's Cornell? Oh, wow.
Anthony used.
Can y'all believe that?
Austin Metcalf.
The Anthony family, the wonderful Anthony family that raised this murderer, did such a wonderful job. This defender, right, of liberty, this new Rosa Parks for 2025, as you call them. They put a GoFundMe up for $100,000. It didn't get taken down. The moment, minutes after it got the $100,000, they jacked it up for more money because it's all just a con.
George
it's all just a
raised
con.
$1 million that was donated to him after killing Trayvon Martin. Kyle Rittenhouse, after he killed two people.
It's a drunk. Oh yeah, I could tell he was a funky drunk. The first time I saw him talking the other day.
He raised almost $2 million. So don't tell me that when black folks decide to put money and support behind a young brother who didn't start a fight, who didn't threaten nobody, who was sitting where he got a right to be sitting, was threatened more than one time, was physically attacked, he defends himself, and then all of a sudden he's in jail for murder. But guess what, brother? We gonna stand behind ours like you white folks stand behind yours.
Okay, let me
that
be
young
clear.
brother was attacked.
I know you're yelling because you really get worked up when you're lying. Well, let me say very clear.
But it's justified.
Us killing
y'all. But we defend ourselves, it's murder.
I'm not finished. You can yell, I can yell too. No, you interrupted me.
You opening your mouth to me like that.
Yelling at me the whole time.
You white
yelling
folks
the whole
are
time.
reaping what you sow. You're reaping what you sow.
White folks
You're reaping what you sow.
So what did Austin Metcalf deserve to get murdered in your book?
When he threatened more than once.
Okay.
When he approached
what did he say?
He finished.
What did he say?
When he threatened
that
if he did not give up his seat, what he was going to do.
What did he say he was going to do?
That young man that if you don't move, I'm going to punch you in your face.
Okay.
2. 3, when he decided that he was going to take his hand, punch that innocent kid in the face who didn't threaten him, who was not breaking any laws, who was not violating no school policies or procedures. When he did that, he crossed the line.
He was violating
and it gave Carmelo Anthony the right to defend himself. Carmelo Anthony was not the instigator. He was not the initial aggressor. The instigator, the threatener, and the initial aggressor, Mr. Metcalf, died. He brought that on himself.
Okay. That's a disgusting take, right? But you said he wasn't breaking any rules. Was it a violation of school policy to come to the track meet armed with a deadly weapon?
No.
Yes or no?
Wait a minute.
Yes or no?
It was that kind of knife.
Yes or no?
It was that kind of knife.
Yes or no?
It was not that kind of knife.
Well, what kind of knife was it?
That's the lie being told.
No.
It was not no butcher knife, no kitchen knife. It wasn't no buck knife. It wasn't that kind of knife.
What kind of knife was it?
See, I'm going to be quiet right now. It's going to come out.
Oh!
Those knives that he used were the same ones they used to help put them tents up.
Okay, so he was armed with a knife.
Everybody, a lot of kids had those knives putting those tents up. It's a custom knife that they used to put those tents up. He didn't bring no weapon like that.
Are you allowed to carry a knife at school?
Charles, it was not that type of weapon.
Okay, was it a knife
at all,
or not?
Charles? It was something that they used to help erect tents.
Okay, who told you that?
All of them. Let me say this to you, Charles. I'm not going to get too deep into that.
I get
point,
that. Had Carmelo been in trouble before for carrying a weapon at school?
I don't know anything about this.
You don't know anything about it. Okay, so we can agree, though, that it is, in fact, a violation of policy to have a deadly weapon at a track meet. Yes or no? Yes or no? Can we agree to that?
He didn't bring that type of weapon.
Okay.
He did not.
Did he have a weapon hidden in his backpack?
He used a weapon to defend himself,
Did he open up his backpack?
He used a weapon to defend himself.
I dare you to touch me.
No, Charles.
Well, so
he had a right to do that.
Oh, well, really?
He wasn't wrong.
Really?
If you in my face threaten to do bodily harm to me, if you threaten me over and over to do bodily harm to me, and then you punch me in my face, because he got a right to use whatever force necessary to stop that attack.
So what you're saying is if it turns out that everyone that was there that gave witness statements that have been published, if they weren't lying and he didn't punch him in the face, right? If they didn't threaten him with physicality, he didn't punch him in his face, do you still think that murder was okay?
I've talked to two
do you still think that murder was okay?
I've talked to two students who were right there, Caucasian students.
Okay.
And they told me, yes, he was punched in the face.
Who were those students?
I'm not going to name them.
Okay, of course you're not.
But those
because you're lying to find soul.
You are damn lying.
No, I'm not.
I beat to my punch bag.
They admitted that he punched that boy in the face after threatening him.
But according to police paperwork, right, the incident report said it was a black knife. So, I don't know where Cornell X is getting his information from or, his source. But according to the witnesses, right, this incident report said it was a black knife, specifically, okay? So, all this shall be revealed eventually if it's true. Now, it was evident to me that the twin brother Hunter didn't want to say in those news interviews that his brother Austin Metcalf pushed Carmelo Anthony, right? He didn't want to tell that for whatever reason. Well, we all know the reason, because that would have made his brother look like the aggressor, right? And that's the story we're getting, that, you know, this guy was a bully, this Austin. He was, you know, a bully. Not only him, they're saying his brother Hunter was a bully too, right? Both of these guys engaged in alleged, you know, bullying, okay, around school campus. Okay, so this right here was known, and, you know, a false narrative was put out there about, you know, the kid, Carmelo Anthony, being, you know, expelled, right, suspended from school for having a knife, and that was a lie, right? And this was perpetuated by law enforcement there. Wow, it's nasty work. Now, in that conference, they were talking about, you know, that one of the twins broke the phone of Carmelo Anthony's, right? And that's not to be confirmed, okay? But this was the story, one of the narratives that was going around, but I didn't see that in the actual police report. So this could have also been another story that was made up about one of the twins taking his phone. They tried to jump him and things of that nature, right? So this wasn't in none of the incident reports that I read.
Oh, I fell asleep. What aside? What? Let me go back.
They did, you know, say that the incident
What did he say?
occurred.
I had dozed off, baby.
Okay.
You said sidebar. Who?
Dominic, what exactly did you ask police to do, and what exactly did they tell you they would do, and is it enough?
Okay. Break that down. Just give me that.
What exactly did you ask Frisco police in your meeting today to do about these allegations of racism leveled against this family? What did you ask police to do about it? What did they say they were going to do about it, and is it enough?
What I've asked them to do is put an additional presence out there with this family around their home. They have ensured that they've had levels of communication, but for the family, it has been hard for them to know and trust everything because of all of the disinformation. And it made it hard for a lot of people to even trust law enforcement in this situation because of what was going on. It was one moment that we thought that the police chief made a statement regarding the case. Then we find out that's a lie, right? The family saw an autopsy report.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license? Whereas in Florida, no open carrying is allowed, except in unique situations.
You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, because of my experience and growing up in the funeral home industry, I know that it's impossible to have an autopsy report, you know what I mean, something like that to be released in the matter of 2 days, right? So we was able to dispel that really quick, right? You know what I mean? And we knew that that was never going to be the avenue that the Collin County Medical Examiner would release that information, right? And so it made it very hard. So what we've asked them to do is increase their presence. We've asked them for a direct contact for the family to be able to send them the information that is when they're getting it, you know, that they have a point of contact to be able to do this. You know, their home address has been shared, you know what I mean?
They don't leak the people's address.
There's a lot of stuff that people are seeing in regarding their son that are false. You know what I mean? You would think, based on what is online, you would think that Carmelo Anthony is a person who is like, you know what I mean, a hooligan or somebody that doesn't have a home or structure or foundation or all of these different types of things. There's been a whole bunch of lies, like Carmelo Anthony was put out of his home days before. Just stupidity. They are all false and lies. And so, you know what I mean? It's just some of those things that the family knows and things that were expressed. Like, the family knows they got to the bus to do that because Carmelo Anthony's car was at his school. You know what I mean? So it's these type of lies that is being expressed on social media that's making it hard for a lot of the family to even trust. So that's the reason why we had this meeting, to be able to ask, answer any questions.
And just real quick though, but so what did police say that they were actually going to do? Are they going to increase protection for this family?
Yes, they accepted that.
Okay, with the 75 people they say they interviewed, did they say anything about video was recording?
They have collected video.
So it is video of the incident?
Yes, they have collected video.
Okay.
There is video of the actual stabbing?
There's video, there are several different videos that they verified.
So what do we know that has been debunked? As far as like the cell phone getting broke, do we know that? Do we know about
I didn't ask about pretty much cell phones. What I can tell you is on the surface of being debunked is the fact that they did not know each other. There wasn't no, and I want to say this because there is a particular blogger that's getting a lot of views, and it's very detrimental the audience that they're getting, right? And that's the only reason why I justify in saying this.
I wonder, what blogger is that? Okay, y'all, I'm finna go to sleep. I'll see y'all later on today. Y'all have a good night. The truth will set us all free. Yes, indeed. It's a whole nother side of the story that they don't want nobody to know. But the daddy is moonwalking. Yeah, he moonwalking. He backing that thing up. Good night, y'all.